Hey, so today's video I'm going to be making a better Miya Himi gouache set and talking about why I don't like the Miya Himi gouache set. To make this video not boring, I'm going to be opening up this package, which has been showing my address this entire time. I'll be opening up this package and setting up my new gouache set. This was, just saying, this was $15 to get, and this was 44 Canadian dollars to get. So I think now is a safe time to say that I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not a professional. I've only seen other artists do this kind of thing where they get this palette with the lid and it's like airtight, and they just set up some really beautiful colors and it looks aesthetically pleasing and cool to use. But I didn't really research it properly. I'm just going to be putting colors in and mixing them up without testing if the color looks nice or not. I'm thinking of putting neutral tints like browns, skin tones, and like black here on the first row, and then this row would be orange to like this red to darker reds, and then probably I'd include some purples up here as well. Maroons and purples. Yeah. And then this row will be dedicated to my favorite colors, which are the greens and blues. So that's my plan. That's all the planning I've done. And then what else? Yeah, I forgot to even like open this set to show you guys what it is, in case you've never seen it before. But this is the Miya Himi gouache set. It's basically a jelly gouache set that took the internet by storm this year. And I fell into the trap of buying it when I clearly do not really need any more gouache. I've had these for like, how many years? Like 3-4 years. And they work. They're a little watery sometimes, or like they come out weird sometimes, but that's exactly why this palette would help, because I could just stir it in and yeah, it would be the perfect consistency. I'm finally done. So I normally don't organize my thoughts for videos, but for this video, I wanted to just have 3 reasons why I don't like this set, instead of me like ranting for 10 minutes and then I'd have to edit it super weird and my thoughts wouldn't be clear, and yeah, that whole mess. So basically the first reason why I don't really like this set is because it's basically constantly drying, and it's eventually going to reach a point where it's basically dry paint. It was coming to the point where the top layer of the paint and even like some of the paint underneath it, especially in the white, was becoming super dry and crumbly, and I just didn't like that. Whenever I was using the palette, I would always feel pressured, like as if there's like a stopwatch on top of the set, ticking to its death almost. I know it sounds weird, but that's just the way I think. I'm always really like panicky about my art supplies. I don't like wasting money. I don't like using things that I feel will die. So I would just constantly be worried about it. And so I do this really dumb thing where I take a spatula, not a spatula, I'm not that weird. I take a palette knife and I just scoop the paint out onto the palette I was using, add water, mix it, and then use that, and then immediately I'd close the box, and then I need to open it again, and it doesn't even close properly, and sometimes it gets stuck while trying to open it. I get it, a lot of people don't mind that it dries. If you're like the kind of person that only squeezes like a tiny bit of acrylic paint, because like you don't want to waste a drop and you know it's drying and there's like a time limit and it stresses you out, then I honestly would not recommend this set for you. That's the main reason why I wouldn't reach out for this set, and why I actually started reaching out for my tube paints after many failed attempts with this set. By the way, this all happened back in April. I got the set all the way back in April, and I waited to do a review all the way till now because I kept trying and trying with the set. I thought it was my gouache skills at the start, but it wasn't, because I made something that I'm still pretty happy with till now with my tubed gouache, just to see if I lost my touch with gouache or something. And that's when I realized the difference. Like with the tubed gouache, I'm very generous with how much I put down and with how much I use, and I mix paints. I dip into the green and then I dip into the white, and it gets dirty, and I don't mind because it's not like the entire supply of white is getting contaminated. Now, that was a really long first point, I guess. The second point on the second reason on why I don't like the set is because the palette isn't even airtight. With the new set of gouache, it's definitely airtight. It kept it wet for 4 days now, I guess. It's still perfect consistency, and because the wells are really small, I feel like I can easily use up a color within I think 5-6 artworks if I'm consistent with gouache, which I'm planning to be. So there's no real panic about it drying up, because even if it does dry up, I could just renew the color because I have a stock of color that's kept safe somewhere. So the last reason why I don't like the jelly gouache set and why I actually prefer the set I made myself is because I basically was able to pre-mix colors that I use often, instead of me having to constantly mess up the white or constantly mess up the yellow, trying to make the green shade I like, or the turquoise shade or the pastel purple shade. Instead, I just pre-mix them, and so I don't even think it's gonna take too much effort to maintain this set and keep it clean, because the mixing and the dipping into other colors and that sort of thing is kept to a minimum. Most of the mixing and blending I did on the paper itself, and it worked so well. Alright, so this is the final artwork. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. This is actually my favorite piece I've ever made with gouache, because I actually had fun doing it, and it was in my illustration style. I normally never draw human figures with gouache or doodles with gouache because it's always so much effort to mix every single color, like have a palette big enough to hold every single color. And yeah, this tiny little thing held everything perfectly, and it's still super wet. Purple's a little bit dirty, white is like barely noticeably dirty. Everything else is pretty clean. Like yellow has a couple smudges in there, but I wouldn't really worry about this, to be honest. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was at least a little bit, you know, like helpful or something. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing if you're not already. I think we just reached 600, which is crazy. Thank you so much for all the support, and I really appreciate it. I'll be putting a new video out, let's see, maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks. I think I might be doing another gouache video because this was just so fun. Maybe I'll do another gouache artwork here or in the next few pages of my sketchbook, which is almost done. So yeah, I'll see you in that video. Bye.